Newsradio 102.9 KARN with Scott Romine.
Hey, Scott Romine here. Man, we're having a good time at KARN talking about wrestling, or as we say in Arkansas, wrestling. And we're talking with Shawn Maves. He's Mr. Ontario. What's your memory of Lex Luger?
He was actually a former football player. He started his career up here in Montreal, Canada, with the Alouette CFL club. Then I think he might have spent a few years down in Green Bay. And then we went to WWF. But, I'm a big Lex guy. He's been on WDCX 99.5 on the Robbie show. I've been on there a couple times too. And he's given his whole story and how he had a change of heart in prison. A chaplain, led him to Christ. And it's all in his book, Wrestling with the Devil. It just reminds us, God allows U-turns. What a great story, because he was, what a tragic thing that happened with Elizabeth.
Oh, awful.
And his life was, and he was, he'd be the first one to admit in his book that he was just on so many drugs, but he's really turned his life around, and now he's actually part of the WWE wellness policy. He actually counsels guys now on nutrition, exercise, and drug prevention. Really, really great story.
I guess his book is probably out there on Amazon. Wrestling with the Devil. Clever name.
Yeah, Wrestling with the Devil.
Oh gosh! You've been on the station he's been on, but you haven't met him in person, I don't guess.
No. I first came across his story on Robbie's show 99.5, and I learned all the details, all the interesting, fascinating details. I wasn't even aware of all these things happen. 2008, another aspect of his story, he had a spinal cord injury. He was actually paralyzed for a while. He's in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
And you won't recognize him now. He actually weighs 180. I think in his prime he was actually up to 270. So
he was huge.
It's a different Lex.
Yeah.
These days.
Definitely.
Lex was a big 90s guy, WWF and WCW. 93, Scott, I don't know if you recall, he was actually voted the most popular wrestler of the year. His nickname was the Total Package. Do you remember some of his matches?
Yeah, I do remember some of his stuff, sure. And I remember him going back and forth between WWF and WCW. A lot of them did. I think Hogan did too.
Yeah, Hogan left. Well, that was the deal with the 90 WrestleMania 6. They were setting Hellwig up to be the main guy, and things fell apart because they knew Hollywood Hogan was his WCW name. He was going to jump ship. So, anyways, but back to Lex. Do you remember one of his finishing moves was called the torture rack? Do you remember?
I don't remember that offhand. Great name though, but I don't remember it.
What he used to do is he used to finish guys off, and he put them on his shoulders and kind of bounce them up and down, bend in their back, and then slam them down into submission.
Oh, it was wrestling. I thought they brought my ex-wife out. Okay, the torture rack. Okay, I got you. I'm just kidding. Oh, well.
I got you.
Yeah.
97, back to wrestling. 97, he had a great match with Hollywood Hogan at WCW. I think his peak of his career is probably 94. But, Scott, Lex is actually often remembered for events outside of the ring. Do you recall the tragic death of Elizabeth back in 2003?
I don't remember that. First Lady of Wrestling, though. I knew her as that, but I don't remember her death. What happened there?
Yeah, I know. I'm really sad. Yeah, she was the First Lady of Wrestling. She was actually dating Lex, and they were in his at his home actually, and she passed away of apparently a drug and alcohol overdose. 42 years old, really sad. The police came on scene and, they arrested Lex because, of course, he had hundreds of prescription and different pills, steroids, GH, and everything. And he was charged. He was given 5 years. He was on parole, and then he broke that parole in 2006, and he ended up serving a year in prison. Do you recall any of that?
I do not remember this. Book. Wow.
Yeah, it's all in his book, Wrestling with the Devil.
He was in phenomenal shape way back there. He's got steroids and growth hormones and everything else. This kind of reminds me of China, who kind of had a tragic ending as well.